video, I'm going to show you step by step how to transpose the song Amazing Grace from the key of C into the key of F. My name is Christine, and here at the Gospel Method, we want to make sure you have all the tools to play all your favorite gospel songs on the piano. For tons of free resources like the one we're going to be using today and many, many more, be sure to check out thegospelmethod.com for your free membership, and be sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on any free tutorials. Alright, well let's jump right in today. Like I mentioned, if you want a copy of this PDF, you can just go over to thegospelmethod.com and you can print it out there. So this is going to be in 3 steps today. We have step 1 is Amazing Grace in the key of C. And then, like I said, we're going to break it down and show you how to transpose or change the key into the key of F. So even if you don't know your F major scale yet, that's okay. We're going to do it step by step so you can do it along with us. So step 1 of any song transposition is you need to make sure that you're very comfortable with it in the key that you have it, at least have an understanding of how it works. So I'm going to play through Amazing Grace, verse 1, in the key of C. We're going to point out a couple things that might be different, and then we're going to jump right in. If this is new to you or you're finding this is a little bit hard, we do have a full tutorial on Amazing Grace in the key of C on the channel. So for today, I'm just going to go through quickly, but if you need some more help, definitely go check out that video as well. Alright, so we're going to start with C, amazing, C over E, so a slash chord, how sweet the sound, 1 G over B, that saved a wretch, D major, D, F sharp, and A, so that one doesn't really fit in our key, but that's okay, wretch like me. This kind of repeats itself, was blind, but now I see. And then F over G at the end. Okay, so make sure that we're familiar with the slash chord. So if it's red, that means that the right hand is playing one chord, the left hand is playing a different note. We make sure that we understand this D major chord, the D, F sharp, and A. That doesn't fit in our scale normally, but that's okay. Alright, so make sure it's all correct. That's another thing when you're transposing. We want to make sure you have the chords are right in the original key before you do all the work to transpose. So now we're going to go over to page 2, and this is where we're going to start learning about our scales. So the first thing you need to do is make sure that you know the scale of your original key. So in this case, it's going to be the key of C. So I'm going to fill this in here. Now this does work with any key, so it doesn't have to be in the key of C to work for your songs, but we'll talk about that a little bit after. But for this song, our original key is the key of C, and our new key is F. Now I'm going to tell you what the scale is. It's F, A, let's do that, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, and F. Okay, so if we wanted to play the C major scale, it sounds like that, the do, re, mi scale, some people know it as, and to make that sound right in F, we need this B flat. Alright, so all of the notes you'll see that have a B are now going to change to B flat. So now we're going to use this as kind of like a code. So when we go over to verse 1, we see C, so original key is C, and all we need to do is now look below underneath what it is. So if it says C here, we're going to look here, F. So we're going to change that C to an F. So I've double spaced this so that you can use your chart, go back and forth, and fill them in. So if you have C over E, that would be F. So the C turns into an F. We still keep it as a slash chord, so we add in our slash. And then the E, let's go find E, is going to turn into A. Okay, so we have F going to F over A. Alright, so the pattern stays the same. We're just changing the notes. Now we have F in our original key is going to turn to B flat. You're like, is this really how easy it is? Yeah, as long as you know your scales, it's very easy. Alright, and then we have C again, turns into F. So you could go through if you had a lot of C's and you could change them all at once. But we'll just go through in order here. We have G over B. So G turns to C. B turns to E. Now we have A minor. So A, don't worry about the minor, just look at the letter. A turns to D. Now what we do need to do in transposing is if there is a minor chord, it has to also become a minor chord. So we can't just turn A minor to D, we have to turn A minor into D minor. All right, so that's very, very important. So side note, let's say you have F diminished, right? Then it would turn into B diminished. D minor would turn into G minor. So they have to match, okay? If you have, major, C equals F. So if it has anything on the end, it also works for 7. So if you had like a G7, that would turn into a C7. Anything on the end of the chord has to come with it. This chart is only changing the letters, okay? So that's why A minor has to turn into D minor. Now we have D turns into G, and then G turns into C, and G over B turns into C over E again. So you can see here we have all the same chords down below. So I'm going to take a minute and I'll be right back and you'll see them all filled in. Now there is one more chord that we haven't went over, the F over G. So let's do that one together. The F would turn into the B flat, and then the G, go up here, would turn into the C. So we end up with B flat over C, and that would be our last chord. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to check it. So we're going to play just the ones that we've written in and make sure it sounds like Amazing Grace. So I have F, F over A, how sweet B flat, the F that saved a wretch like me. Sounds pretty good. I once was lost, but now I'm found, was blind, but now I see. All right, so it sounds correct, it matches, it is higher because we went up to F, but it's correct. So now you could do the same thing, add in your intro as well. And then I've given you page 3 so that you can go in and add it in without the C major chords. So that might get confusing if you have 2 keys on the same page. So page 3 is just an extra page where you can go in and add in your key. Now, if you want to learn how to play in all 12 keys or transpose into all 12 keys, make sure you go over to thegospelmethod.com because we do have the premium membership there where 2 things that are going to help you a lot is the library of all 12 keys. So that will just give you the answers. Amazing Grace in all 12 keys. How great thou art in all 12 keys. Okay, there's lots of songs in there and it gives it to you in all 12 keys. It also has a section about transposing. So it will give you, there's some handouts about like all 12 keys and how it works, how to transpose, what is the circle of fifths and how do you use it. So there's tutorials on that, very simple like the ones you have on the channel, but it's going to take you to the next level so you can change any song that you have into any key. Alright, so make sure you check that out. The premium method also has video tutorials about song tutorials. There's handouts, again, the library, and then there's a Zoom call once a month where you can ask me questions about something you're working on the premium membership, something you saw on the channel, or something that you're working on in your own day-to-day practice. Alright, so be sure to check that out, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next week. Bye!